Welcome to episode 6 of Pause for Peace. My name is Jule and I pastor Hillwood Presbyterian Church USA that gathers on the west side of Nashville, Tennessee to connect with one another, to connect with God, to be able to renew in love and serve everywhere we go. Welcome also to 2024. How is it possible that before us stretches this 366 days of this leap year? And we just can come together for a few moments to pause for peace right now. And I invite you into a time of releasing 2023. We have to shed, let it go, to prepare ourselves for what lies ahead in 2024. So if you have a chance right now to get yourself comfortable, I want to guide us just a little bit before I introduce our practice for this episode 6, the manifestation wheel. So get yourself comfortable. Get yourself grounded. We have been through all of these holidays, visiting with loved ones, traveling, many different ways we have spent our time over these past couple of weeks, maybe even having an amazing celebration of the new year. It's time to get ourselves back grounded in the earth. We even are now in this season of winter in the Northern Hemisphere when so many of us don't want to go outside and we feel like it's too cold and we just want to wrap up indoors and stay cozy. Whatever and however we spend our time, we have to find a way to keep ourselves grounded, especially as we begin a new year. So get yourself comfortable right now. Maybe you even want to take yourself outside for a few minutes and put your feet in the grass or what once was lush green grass if you are in the Northern Hemisphere in a place where the cold has descended upon us. And if you will, just take a few deep breaths from your belly, squeezing out and in, and letting that air just rise up and out and release whatever needs to be released. So let's just begin. You may close your eyes if you want, and maybe even bring to your imagination, to your mind's eye, those aspects of 2023 that you really just need to let go. So we take our deep breaths from our belly. We ensure our feet are flat on the ground and know that underneath us somewhere is the earth. And even though all things are dormant in the season of winter in the earth, there still is so much activity happening underneath us for the new birth of spring to come. And in this moment, if you will just, like I said, bring to your imagination an aspect of 2023 that you want to release. Perhaps it's been a limiting belief. Perhaps it has been a true sundering of a relationship, even a way that you have deeply disappointed yourself. So bring that to mind. We're not going to wallow in it. We're just going to bring it to mind so we can release it. Perhaps it has been a challenge that just has not relented all throughout this year. And perhaps it's even a habit that you have picked up in 2023 that you know going into this new year, you need to turn around, you need to change. So let's just visualize all of that coming together, maybe even putting it on like a raft that goes in the water and that you literally in your mind's eye write 2023 on it. Put it all on there together. And as you take another deep breath, I just invite you to send that down the river. Just release it. Let it go. Bless it for the lessons it has brought. Bless it for the new connections it has brought. But truly let it go. The sadnesses, the sorrows, the screw-ups. Just let them go. We have a fresh year ahead of us. Maybe it's difficult to see this all on a raft together, floating down the river and being released. So whatever way you can see it being obliterated, maybe you need to see it being covered with a beautiful color that calms all of it and just allows it to dissipate. Whatever that is, just be, as you're breathing, just be allowing those aspects of 2023 that need to be gone to just let them go. Take one more deep breath in and out from your belly. And on the exhale, just blow it all out. Release it all. So now, see in your imagination, in your mind's eye, maybe even in your heart, see yourself cleansed of all of that. Free of all of that. Just see yourself as the most beloved being on this planet who knows you and loves you and fully accepts you. Just allow yourself to see through their eyes for just a moment. And if you will visualize yourself on the highest moment of your life, the moment when you have felt the most you, the most authentic, the moment when you have felt the most free, the moment when you have felt the most loved, the moment when you are the most proud of yourself. If you'll just bring that aspect of yourself to your mind's eye for these moments, and just see that beautiful creature that is you. And just surround, maybe even making with your hands a beautiful cocoon of beloved, blessed, loving energy all around you. See yourself whole, competent, confident, ready to be as you want to be as this new year unfolds. Maybe it's free of sorrow. Maybe it is in a relationship with a loved one, a family member, or a friend, or a beloved of your heart that is a newness about it, that is truly blessed and is truly life-giving and affirming of you. Maybe that's the moment of wholeness you need to see right now in your heart, in your imagination, in your mind's eye. And I want you to just hold that image of yourself, of your best self, Hold that image for a few moments, just in your heart, in your mind. Keep that part of yourself before you, that wholeness of yourself before you. As I tell you a little bit about today's practice, this week we have the opportunity in Pause for Peace to use our imagination and to do a little dreaming. And I'm going to invite us to do that through a practice called the manifestation wheel. Now, I first was introduced to this form of dreaming in my training for Healing Touch, my Healing Touch practitioner certification process. I was exposed to something called the manifestation wheel in my level 4 and level 5 training. And the manifestation wheel actually comes from the work of Joanne Little, who is a Healing Beyond Borders, Healing Touch practitioner and psychoanalyst. And Joanne uses this practice with her clients and she encourages it. And we had an opportunity as I was training to use this tool. It's pretty simple. So if you are listening to this podcast and not watching the visual of this podcast, then let me just describe for you the manifestation wheel. You literally take a piece of paper, just a blank piece of paper. It really would be best to use paper for this, but if you can be creative on your device or on your computer, you're welcome to do that as well. And you're going to put a circle, just a big circle all the way out to the outer edges of your paper. You can write manifestation wheel at the top of the paper. And then in the middle of that circle, you're just going to write a smaller circle, this little bitty circle in the middle that you will now see a little circle and a big circle surrounding it in the middle of your paper. And then you begin to make spokes like a wheel, like if you have a bicycle, if you've ever seen a bicycle, they literally have spokes coming out of the center of that wheel going all the way to the outer edge. And you just put spoke after spoke after spoke. You just have these blank lines emanating out from that center little bitty circle. And then in just a moment, I'm going to guide us through this process of dreaming, of visioning, of imagining all that we might want to manifest, what you might want to see take place in your life in this year ahead. And one spoke on your manifestation wheel has to include the words this or better. So on one spoke, on top of the line of one of those lines that go from the center circle to the outer circle, just write this or better. All right, so let me just show you my manifestation wheel from years ago, 2016, when I first was training to be a certified Healing Touch practitioner. In this exercise, we just had 5 minutes. And we were to vision our Healing Touch practice that we wanted to have come into being. Just imagine the kind of healing that we were going to do, the clients we might want to work with, the environment we might want to set up for our practice, the practices in and of themselves that we might want to do, the space in which we might want to practice. And so we had 5 minutes to just vision and write on each and every line of our manifestation wheel one quality of our ideal practice that we wanted to bring into reality, or that we wanted God to bring into reality, universe to deliver us, the divine to help us bring into reality. And so that's what we're going to do here for these next few minutes. Now, the manifestation wheel can be used for almost anything, really. But I want us in these moments that we spend together today at this beginning of 2024, I'm going to invite you to be putting on your manifestation wheel one or two things. And here's what I want you to focus on in these next few moments, if you are up for this experience. I want you to do one of two things, really. I either want you to visualize and put all of your focus and energy in these next few moments into the being that you would like to become, like how you would like to see yourself, not what you want to have happen in your life, but how you would like to see yourself, what kind of qualities you would like to have developed in yourself, what kind of way of being you would like to have for yourself by the end of 2024. Now, we get a bonus day this leap year, so depending on which day you're listening to this podcast, you have somewhere around 360-ish days to be putting your energy and prayers towards this. But so that's one option. To write in the middle of your manifestation wheel. You might even write like me, or your name, your first name, or you might even write my best self, whatever word exactly you want to put in there, or words you'd like to put in the middle of your manifestation wheel. Now, if you don't really want to focus on that and kind of how you want to live into that best aspect of yourself by the end of 2024, I'll allow you to choose a project or some like big thing you would like to see happen in your life. And that might be something like beginning a new healing practice, or that might be something like truly transforming the home in which you live. That might be something like working to bring into reality a new way to serve in your community. It might be a undertaking that you would like to be about in 2024. Maybe you want to travel more in 2024. Maybe you want to spend more time with your grandbabies in 2024. Maybe you want to build a stronger network of friendships to support you on your journey in 2024. So that's another option as well of almost like a project or a change you would like to bring to the circumstances of your life, you might say, okay? So either focusing your manifestation wheel on moving into being a new aspect of yourself or a new way of being in this world, or like this project or this opportunity you would like to see come into reality. But make it big, not like something little like I want to like go to the mall next week. You want this to be something truly monumental that would be difficult, a little bit difficult and a little bit hard for you to dream and imagine on your own, okay? Because this is something that we are seeking to manifest in our reality. This is something that we are hoping to live into in a new way. Okay, so if you'll just take a moment to write that in the middle of your manifestation wheel. And I'm wanting you to do this out of that best self that you had envisioned, that being that you were able to see yourself as, that free, almost like newborn for 2024 being of yourself that we visualized before I started speaking of the manifestation wheel. Okay, so hopefully you have that idea in mind. This is not really an exercise to like create your New Year's resolutions. This is an exercise sort of bigger than that. All right, so when you have that in the center of your circle, I want us to take about 3 minutes. If you are able and want to pause this podcast, you can add some more time on, but we'll take about 3 minutes of quiet. I might prompt us now and again to just start filling in our spokes, right? So if, say for instance, I wanted to visualize myself or bring into my world by 2024 a more inviting home environment in which I truly felt held, and I truly felt was a sanctuary of beauty and of peace. Say, for instance, that would be at the center of my manifestation wheel. For these next 3 minutes, I'm just going to write on all those spokes, steps, qualities, but really it would be better to even like visualize, like what colors would calm me most? What sense would be in this space? What do I want to see in this space? What needs to be removed from my environment in order to truly feel like I am entering into my sanctuary when I enter into my home? What relationships might need a little mending in order to make that happen? All of these would be aspects, I would be qualities, I would be writing, like things I would be writing on each spoke of my manifestation wheel in these next few minutes. If I am visualizing a way that I want to be by the end of 2024, I might be thinking about I am dreaming to be a more adventurous spirit by the end of 2024. And so then in my manifestation wheel, I might be truly writing those things that will be evidence that I have embraced an adventurous spirit. It might be taking a new route to work. It might be saying hello to somebody I don't know, but find myself intrigued by. It might be saying yes to things that I would typically turn down and say, no, I'm not going to be a part of that. It might be putting on my spoke of my wheel. It might be something like I want to be a more adventurous spirit is my aim. And so I am putting on a spoke of my wheel, just wearing a piece of clothing I would never wear. Whatever might come to you in these minutes as you are seeking to complete your manifestation wheel. So let's dream a little bit together. All right, I'm going to leave this little time of quiet. Make sure you're grounded. You want to be grounded, but you want to dream all at the same time. You're just completing those spokes of your manifestation wheel. Don't lose sight of what's in the middle of your manifestation wheel and what you are seeking to bring to reality or have brought to reality by the end of 2024. Don't lose sight of that as you complete your manifestation wheel. Keep that before you. Depending on what it is you're focusing on, what you've put in the center of your manifestation wheel, you may need to be paying attention to some relationships that need to be attended. Perhaps there are some rifts that need some mending. Perhaps there are some connections that need to be relinquished, released. Perhaps there are communication patterns that get in the way of you being your best self, of being able to truly step into who you all can be by the end of 2024. Put all that on your manifestation wheel on one of those spokes. And if you need more spokes, just keep adding more spokes. There may even be aspects of yourself that need some tending if you are seeking to bring a new project or grandiose goal into reality. There may be aspects of yourself that need some tending, like perhaps there's some qualities that I have slid into, some habits that I've slid into that really are keeping me from, say, if I'm wanting to be that adventurous spirit and bring into an adventurous way of living by the end of the year, maybe there's some patterns of like always going home after the end of the day, or being totally obsessed with TikTok. Maybe these are things I just need to like relinquish even for a little bit if I'm truly going to bring into reality, or if divine is truly going to bring into my life these bigger adventurous spirits that I want to bring forth, whatever you have put in the middle of your manifestation wheel. All right, so if you want to just add your last one or two little qualities or thoughts there on your manifestation wheel, your one or two of your last little dreams for what you are seeking to manifest in 2024. And I'm just going to call time to that right now, because you're not done, right? We're not done once we get on paper. In August of 2026, I did this manifestation wheel. I put all these things on paper. Well, that was just the start, like dreaming, beginning this circle for healing and wholeness, which was what I was seeking to manifest in the summer of 2026. Dreaming that and like seeing what I wanted on all these spokes, that's just the first step. The manifestation wheel is really meant to be our companion throughout this year. Like if this is something we're working to bring into reality by the end of 2024, then it is a companion for our whole year. And what I'm going to invite you to do is you can frame your manifestation wheel like I framed mine on a nice sturdy piece of cardstock, colorful cardstock. You can frame it, or you can just put it somewhere, post it on the mirror in your bathroom, wherever you want to place it. Maybe you want to have it near your bed so that at the end of each night you can see it, or first thing in the morning, it's what you will see. And all throughout the year, I'm just going to invite you to come back to it. I'm going to invite you to like send your prayers, your energy, your heart into your manifestation wheel. If you truly are wanting to manifest by the end of 2024 your best self, as you have envisioned your best self by the end of 2024, or this project, this new adventurous thing you are wanting to have in the world, this way of service, whatever it might have been, then this next step is key, is pouring forth all of your prayers, all of your heartfelt energy, all of your pleas to God, to the universe, just every day, putting forth that into your manifestation wheel. Now, the qualities that you have put on your manifestation wheel hopefully are going to be a little bit of your guide of some of the actions that you need to take in order to bring about this manifestation, this reality that you are wanting by the end of 2024. And so we don't just put it aside and forget about it. And we don't just put it before us and put our prayers and energy in it. We also need to act. This is a way that we can truly be integrated, when we dream and we act, when we pray and when we put our energy into, and when we get up and we get going and we put steps into place in order to help make this thing a reality, right? So all throughout the year, keep it somewhere where you can put your best intentions into it, your prayers, your energy into it, where you can truly pour your heart into it. And then also get busy doing so. If this is something personal, say this has nothing at all to do with your work life. If this is something personal that you have put on this manifestation wheel, I hope you have, then all throughout the week, it's kind of like a promise that you need to make to yourself that you're going to come back to your manifestation wheel. You're going to see what is there, and you're going to do one thing to bring that into reality. Just one thing, even if it's one thing a week, to bring this vision, this dream into reality. Keep that before you all throughout the year. Be working on your steps. Be putting in your prayers, and let's just see what comes, right? Like, as we dream, as we seek to unite our heart's energy with God's best like will for this world, with the ways that God would like us to be in this world, because of course God wants us to be our best self by the end of 2024. Anything that is truly our deepest heart's desire, God is hoping for this to come into reality for us as well. Now, we don't need to get into all of the weeds of what if I pray for something and it doesn't happen. This is not about magic. This is about our prayers, our intentions, and the highest good for all. And our last step in the manifestation wheel is to truly unite our spirit with that prayer, thy will be done, right? With that prayer to release the outcome. I can put my best intentions, my prayers, my actions into my goal in my manifestation wheel, into my ideal in my manifestation wheel. And I also must learn along the way to release it, which is why we write on our manifestation wheel, this or better. Because every now and again, probably most always, universe, God, divine, however you want to think of it, has a higher good than we might ever be able to imagine or dream. And so opening us to this or better is incredibly important in this manifestation wheel process. It is a reminder that there is an abundance in this world. There is a plentiful bounty in this world, and that this love that undergirds us each day is guiding us into our best self, into the highest good for the whole, for this entire united web of the world. And so I invite you to keep your manifestation wheel before you, to put your prayers into it, to take your steps, to do your actions that you need to do all along this path in 2024. And at the end of the day, to release to the highest good, to trust divine, to trust abundance, to trust the good, to trust love, to bring forth this or better. Dear friends, I look forward to seeing you next week on Pause for Peace. Blessings as you begin this new year of 2024, and may we all seek to pour forth our heart's energy into bringing forth the best of all this year has to offer. Blessings, and see you next week.